Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston pie. A fly can't bird, but a bird can fly. Ask me a riddle and I reply. Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston pie.
Hello, and we welcome back to the co-host seat the lovely, the wonderful, the one and only Ms. Lindley Phillips, not Ross Phillips.
That's right.
I was thinking this was kind of weird symmetry, because the last time you joined us, it was for solo just as school ended.
Yes.
And now we're back with this one, and school has just started.
We're doing really good for having 3.5, 4 years of not doing it, and
Yeah.
we've done it twice.
That is really good. We should keep that record up.
Yes.
So a little bit different film than the last time. Boy howdy, this one kind of hits you in that emotional kind of gut punch, and not in like a really heavy kind of
In a sweet way.
yeah, and
It's just so sweet.
and it does it from the beginning all the way to the end. It's like one of the things I loved about this. I was worried about this movie after I saw the second trailer.
Okay.
Because it seemed like they were going in that much more slapstick direction,
Oh,
at least.
yeah.
At least in the, and I was like, oh, come on.
No, it's really, it just makes
Yeah.
you go, oh, it holds your heart and go, oh.
Yeah,
it's
but
just so sweet.
It was so very, it was nice, calm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to say slow in a bad way.
Slow in a good way, like Winnie the Pooh is.
Yeah,
it's slow in a good way. It's nothing. You know, you're waiting. What is it? You're waiting for nothing.
When you're waiting for nothing, the most wonderful somethings happen, or something like that. And yeah, it's kind of
what it is.
That's kind of this film's little mantra, and it works really well, because it's like you really do kind of sit there and go, oh, this is nice.
It was really, really nice. And there was kids in the audience, and it was fun to hear them laugh, and where's Pooh? You know, and talk about it. And
what I found funny about the audience,
laughing,
what I found really funny about the audience is you could really tell the generation divide, because like
which
kids,
jokes they got.
Like the kids were laughing at a lot of stuff, but the adults who clearly had grown up with it were the ones that when he said, oh bother, and whatnot, that's when like the adults were like, yay, he said the thing.
And Eeyore at the very
thanks for noticing me, you know. So the kids were getting all the like the little slapsticky things and kind of the more obvious jokes, but the parents, and you know, there were some grandparents in there, you know, clearly people who had been watching this like we did, because I saw this was like the original Winnie the Pooh was a staple on my rotation.
We own it. We own it. My kids both went through a really like dedicated, thick Winnie the Pooh phase for several months of their toddler life. Well,
it's just that perfect film for that group. But I've watched it as an adult, and I still love everything about it. You know, the voice acting, you know, Sebastian Cabot doing the narration, and all of it was just, and this was in that kind of thing that Disney's doing now, that let's remake all of our old.
But this has been the best one so far.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you, I haven't seen all of them, and we saw like the trailer for Dumbo was on the thing.
Yeah.
Both of us kind of cringed about it.
Ugh.
And I'm excited about Mary Poppins because I love Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I think they're trying to make that one really, really good. But this one kind of flew under the radar, I feel like, and has been their strongest because it doesn't try to be anything than its own thing. It's not living up to anything. It's just had to be its own sweet little world.
Yeah.
And I think it did that really well.
Incredibly well. It like I say, it's not trying to just be a carbon copy of the original.
Right.
It's not trying, like Maleficent, trying to be some kind of commentary on the original. It's just, it's taking kind of that, I classify it as a less obnoxious hook.
Right, like I was saying, it reminded me a lot of Mary Poppins, because it's all about saving the dad.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not about her, it's not about Pooh, it's about saving the father figure and making him remember what's important in life. And Mary Poppins is so much like that. And so it has that sweetness to it, it has that innocence to it, it has that rediscovery to it. But it's definitely not as in your face.
Yeah, and because
it's not as strong.
Yeah, because that's one of those story arcs we've seen a lot of times. You know, the busy dad who's just so busy with business and he doesn't remember what's important, and something from, you know, we've seen that story arc before. And you're right, it's very kind of in your face, kind of pounding it.
Right. And how come there's no women? I'm sitting here right now trying to think of women in that storyline.
There aren't any.
I can't think of one.
There aren't any.
It's always about love for women. Oh, she's got to find love because she lost love.
So with business people, it's women have to find
moms too.
Yeah, they got to find love, and with men, it's you have to remember what it's like to be a kid.
Yes.
But like I said, this one did that and did it in a very
sweet,
just sweet and gentle, and like I say, very quiet, very calm. You know,
but the direction was beautiful.
Oh,
I thought
man.
The editing, the cut, the cinematography, it was a beautiful film.
Yeah.
It was really well done too. Like the crafting of it was really good, and the animation was slight. So it wasn't like, oh, it's an animated Pooh. Like it was very slight. It was very minimal in a really good way.
This isn't like a fault. This is the one thing that as I'm watching, as you're talking about the animation, because the animation was very well done. This is one of those instances, and this is the way I am and the things I like. I think this would have been a better one to use puppets.
See, I think they did use some puppets.
I think they did some for some of the long shots.
When you don't see his face, like when you don't see the Winnie the Pooh character faces, like the behind shots, and you just see the head moves. Like
but I think there's something when they're doing some of the close-up they could have used, you know, something a little bit more, not so much Muppety, but I think
a light amount of puppets.
You could have combined the two and made the characters just that little bit more, you know, real. Textile, real, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not a criticism, because like you say, the animation is top notch, some of the best I've seen in a long time, with so many CGI characters.
Right.
But that's just one thing that, you know, is always with me. I always think things are better with puppets. That's just just me.
One of the things I was thinking about too, going a different direction, is, you know, my son is 5, and he is very sweet and sensitive and emotional. And I think just in general, it was nice that Christopher Robin, when he leaves, goodbye Christopher Robin, he has to say goodbye to all, you know, to the 100-Acre Wood. He's an older kid.
Yeah.
Like, it was in a way for me, like as a mother of a young child, of a young boy, it was nice to see a depiction of a young child and then an adult, because he was still the same way.
Yeah.
Be sensitive and caring and innocent and playing with things that many people would be like, oh, that's a girl toy, or you can't play. You know what I mean? Like I appreciated that. And that innocence of childhood.
And I think they did a good job. I thought the prologue was a little long.
But it was a good job, though. It was very well done.
And what I liked is they kind of showed, because this is something you don't get in a lot of these narratives with the, you know, the guy who forgot childhood and all that, is it showed that it was the world that kind of made him that way. He didn't just become, you know, workaholic dad thing. There were circumstances, there was a war, there was all this. So like I say, I think it went on just a little too long, but I think it was there for a reason, to show kind of why he was that way. I always think
like Up. It was like the intro Up.
Well, I always think
set in the story.
I always think when they do a Christmas Carol, whenever anybody has to do some chopping, they always chop the stuff out of Christmas Past. Oh. Because people tend to think that's the least important.
But that sets it all up.
You know, to understand why he is the way he is. They just want that simplistic, oh, he's greedy, so that's why.
Right.
Like, I didn't realize until the Flintstones Christmas Carol that he had a sister.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Which is bizarre.
I read it.
Yeah. You know, so
I read it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I was deep into young childhood. I was not sleeping. I'm going to chalk it up to that I don't remember.
That's fair. I mean, you have a reason not you know, to lose sleep. But I thought that, you know, that they took that time to kind of show that transition from... And
it was in the old Winnie the Pooh drawing.
The style, yeah.
Pages. It was so sweet.
It was nice. And
so sweet.
Shouldn't be any surprise the acting was top notch.
Good.
Ewan McGregor,
was great.
I can't think of anybody who could have played that part better.
He was really good and easy.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes you see people, and at least for me, like that's for a reason why I can't stand Leonardo DiCaprio is because I can see him working, I can see him acting.
Yeah.
And he's good at it, but the only thing I think of is, oh, that's Leonardo DiCaprio doing this. Like, but with this role for him, it was just the role. Like, I didn't really know. I didn't see Ewan McGregor doing the work.
Yeah, it seemed very
easy.
Which again is credit to him as a performer when he considered that how much of the time was he talking to nothing.
Yeah.
Or to like
a little prop.
Yeah, or something just to give him reference. So he was doing all this, often acting opposite, because there's a lot of the movie where it's him and Pooh and the other characters. So he had to do a lot of that without any kind of, back from any kind of from another actor. So that's really impressive.
And who played his wife?
Haley Atwell.
So she was on the TV show, the Captain America
She
spin-off.
and she was in Captain America as well.
Yeah, the first one. And what I liked about her a lot, I think she was perfect casting. But there was one point in there, I was like, oh, look, she's like a normal-shaped woman. A normal-sized human. She's not... and a normal age.
Yeah.
She's younger than Ewan McGregor, but it's not like they had a 22-year-old
Yeah.
in there.
What I love about Haley Atwell is, one, just a great actor.
Yes.
And two, I love her in these period pieces because she just looks like she fits
she fits perfectly.
Flawlessly. The hair, just like you say, her body type.
Yes.
Like a real person.
Yeah.
She looks like she belongs in the 1940s and 50s, and it's just, she fit. It's so weird. I've seen a couple things that she's in kind of modern day and it doesn't feel right.
Right.
You're like, no.
That's not where you're supposed to be.
You're supposed to be in the 40s. So yeah, I wish there'd been a little bit more to her character, but I also understand it's not her story.
Yeah.
So,
because it's not about her.
Yeah.
She just had to play the please come back to us.
Yeah, and she does that very well. I also like, and this was something that was kind of an underscoring and a little bit out of character for the time period, but neat just in kind of what some of those things we're trying to be conscious of these days. They made it clear she had a career. And that she was
doing,
working.
Like, architect.
Or drawings or something.
Well, she had she was doing some sort of sketching, but behind her was a model.
Yeah, so it was clear that she was working.
Right.
And they talk about, when they're talking about their daughter and sending her to boarding school, it's because they want to make sure she has a career, and they say that.
Right.
So I think, again, without having to bash you over the head,
they said it.
And just, it's there, it's a visual cue, it's a line, and you're like, okay, so they're not just trying to ship her off, get her married, that type of thing.
Right.
It's, they're planning for her future on her own, which again, you don't see a lot of.
And the one line she has too is like, she needs to play.
Yeah.
She needs to go play. She can't study all the time. And being a teacher, you've heard me say this all the time, like, the last school I was at, no recess. I teach elementary school. There's no recess. Kids need to play. They need to play. And so having that importance put in the movie too made me feel good. Like, I just appreciated that personally. But I also, one thing that I think probably the main thing I appreciated about the use of Winnie the Pooh and the characters was that they could have easily made it he's going insane.
Yeah.
Or, he's cracked, like he talks about, he's cracking in the movie. And they didn't. They really very firmly made it, no, it's a real thing.
Yeah, and
they are real.
That was kind of a thing.
And they didn't have to play, and it fit fine.
Yeah. That was a thing I kind of went back and forth on until I saw the whole movie, and I think it was the right choice. I was wondering about that. I was like, should it be a, more of a mystery if Pooh's really talking to him? As opposed to going insane, I kind of equated to Miracle on 34th Street.
Right,
is he Santa Claus? Is he not?
Right.
I kind of thought it'd be more interesting to go in that direction. But after seeing the whole film and seeing how it all came together, it's like, no, I think, like you say, I think the way they went with it was probably the best way.
Yeah, and then they go back to the 100-acre wood, and it is like an entrance into a different land.
Yeah.
It was a good separation. They compartmentalized it so that it could be its own thing. They could exist and live, and that was perfectly done. I thought.
You gotta give Jim Cummings, the voice of Pooh, a lot of props.
And Tigger he's still the Tigger. So the Pooh and the Tigger voices are the people that still do the Pooh and the Tigger.
Well, Jim Cummings is not the original.
No. But I mean the ones now. Like they still have new movies and things. And those are the voices.
I believe for Pooh and Tigger, yes. All the others
else are new.
had, because like Piglet didn't have the stutter.
No.
Like he normally does, and
the same guy that did Piglet in the original one did Piglet until he was like 80.
Yeah, though
he did it forever.
I can never remember his name. He's like one of these really great character actors. I always think of him as juror number
18. Yeah.
No, he was juror. Which juror was he?
What movie?
12 Angry Men.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that movie.
Really?
Sorry.
You need to get on that.
Sorry.
You need to get on that, darling. That's a classic.
I know, and I love classics.
Yeah, you need to check that out.
I don't have a lot of time.
No, yeah, sure. Why? What are you doing? What are you so busy with?
You got to working full time and raising 2 young children.
Bah!
You have loads of time.
Just do like this movie says. Send them out into the woods. Let them take care of themselves.
Let them go.
Stuffed animals.
I have started letting my kids play in the front yard by themselves.
Ooh.
Which is different. We don't have a fence in the front yard, so they could, run away if they wanted to, but they won't. And we got to get a neighbor.
They're not going to do that unless they pack a peanut butter sandwich first.
Right.
That's running away.
With a stick.
Protocol. You need the peanut butter sandwich.
That's right.
Jelly or honey, depending on what your preference is.
One of my best friends, she's still my best friend. So Erin, when she was probably 4 or 5, she got so mad. I'm running away. And her mom called her bluff. She's like, all right. And she just packed in it. I think it was empty. Erin, tell me, was the suitcase empty? But she packed it and left. Walked somewhere. Am I getting the story right? You gotta double check. And then came back. Or got taken back. I don't know. It was a funny story.
When I did it, apparently my mom said, okay, don't cross the street, don't talk to strangers, and be back in 10 minutes.
And did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, so.
Was it Chugiak?
No, well, I think this was when we were in Georgia.
Oh, okay. Watch out for the moose.
Yeah, we wouldn't. But yeah, boy, like I said, just kind of tell those stories. This movie kind of does that to you. It makes you go,
think
oh,
about
childhood. Well, I mean, just recently, when I was back in Alaska, I went back to UAA.
Yes.
There and being in that space, the movie really makes you nostalgic in a really sweet way, and in that kind of
happy. It's just
that wonderful thing is that you don't have to be sad that the thing is gone, that childhood is over.
Celebrate it, remember it,
and you can still have fun as an adult.
Yes, fun as an adult, and fostering it
and give
to your children.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
children around you.
Well, I had a little girl at the camp that when they found out I was leaving, I was getting ready to go, and that I wasn't going to be back the following year, she was almost in tears.
Aww.
And I had to kind of, and this movie made me think of her, made me think of Peyton quite a bit, and just, that little is like, I'm like Winnie the Pooh. I'm that fat thing that will with very little brain.
I knocked it off. I'm sorry.
It's old. Don't
well,
worry.
and I like to at the end, they had a little tag with Richard Sherman. He did the music.
It was just
He's still alive.
Which I was surprised. I thought they both had passed, but I guess not.
But it was just a nice little ribbon.
Yeah.
Nice little bow.
In a very delightful, very just, I don't know.
Gentle, sweet.
Yeah, and you can't really fault it for anything. Even the things I didn't, not so much like, but things I thought, they could have done. In the grand scheme, the grand package,
fine.
The film works just flawlessly.
It works great. Go see it.
So,
definitely go see it.
As teachers.
But if you have kids, or you had a childhood that you want to remember, so if you're human, you might want to bring a tissue. Because there's several.
There were a couple points where I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there being like, I can feel the manly tears welling up, and I'm like, I'm sitting there with her, and I'm like, is there a way I can wipe these tears away and not make it look like that's what I'm doing?
I am married. My husband cries at everything. Erin cries at everything in a really good way. Like we were finishing a very British Scandal last night, which you all also should go see. Well, it's a miniseries from the BBC. It's on Amazon Prime. Go watch it. But he cried in that, and it's like everything's okay. But it was very sweet. He's sweet. Erin would have cried probably at least 60%.
Yeah, there were more than a few times. They're like
several times.
Manly tears.
Okay.
All right, so as teachers, as regular viewers know, and as you may remember, we like to close out, give it a final grade, because that's what we do. So, final grade for Christopher Robin.
Oh, B plus A minus.
Okay. Well, give me one. Come on. No, don't waffle.
I'm a hard grader, man.
Well, be it.
A minus. All right, A minus. I'm gonna give it.
You know what? I'm gonna go A minus as well.
Sweet.
Because I can't find a real flaw in it that really pushes back against it. I can't anything I did. It was like, well, it made sense in the story.
Yeah.
So.
And it was what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It is what it is. It's its own little thing.
Yeah. So a beautiful, sweet, warm, a good one for, like you say, people who have emotions. And, want to remember kind of their childhood. And if you've got kids, a great one to kind of take them to. And just kind of tacking on, I like that it didn't go the route of like the Peter Rabbit film that was out.
Oh, I didn't see
earlier in the year, where they took a quiet, sweet little story and made it this kind of non-stop adrenaline thing, bouncing and wackiness. That's, like I said, that's what I was worried about with the trailer.
Oh.
But it was quiet, soft, and I think kids can deal with that.
Yes, and it was not long. We went to a 4:50 showing, so it probably really started at 5, and the movie ended at before 7.
Yeah.
So I would say older-ish kids could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing in it that little kids can see it, but it's just probably not engaging enough.
Only other thing before we
follow the story.
Before we wrap up, there was one thing I thought that, and I think this is what kind of makes it an A minus. Obviously, they had to have that, the mean boss or the slimy boss.
Yes.
I don't think they needed a villain.
No, they needed something. They needed someone to press on him. But I think you could have done that without the kind of overly cartoonish, obvious bad guy. But see, that's the thing, though. He wasn't bad. He wasn't like a villain.
No, he's going to play golf while making Christopher. I think you could have either not needed that character specifically, or toned him down a bit.
Yeah, he could have been toned down.
And
I think.
And I feel sorry for that actor, because he's one of those actors where he's always playing the slimy jackass.
Oh, but I love
But he's so good at it. I mean,
Did you ever see League of Gentlemen?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. I like, he's good, and I like him as an actor, but it is one of those things. It's like, man, this poor guy. But I guess he's always working, so
he wrote Sherlock. He's doing fine.
Oh yeah, he's doing grand. All right, so I thank again my lovely friend for joining us, and fortunately, most of my friends enjoy doing these. So when we get time, we always try to get our guest hosts on here. So thank you, Lindley, for coming along again. It's always wonderful to see you and being here. And next up for me, giant shark. So
yeah, are you gonna do it in IMAX?
No, are you kidding? I don't pay extra money for these things.
Oh, but it's kind of the thing where it's like, man, you just got to go big.
I read the book.
That kind of movie.
No, I read the books that these are based on, and I am not like, this is not one of those.
You're coming at the literary angle.
I'm coming at it from the thing of that the books were trash. So we're gonna see how trashy the movie is. So I'm not paying extra money for that.
I have a friend seeing it this weekend too, so I think they're doing an IMAX.
But
see the movie.
Go see this movie. We love it, and we love Lindley. So thank you coming up, and till next time. Drive safe, and I will see you at the movies.
Bye.